First game of the season. I mean, it's that one you always build up to. Do you still get the excitement? Is it like any other game to you?
Certainly, you always get that excitement going into the first game of the season. But I'm hoping we've learnt our lessons a little bit from last year when our first game of the season was a bit of a damp squid performance by us. There's no guarantees on results in football, but I like to think we put in a better performance than we did on the opening game last season, being beat home to Northampton. So it's a new challenge for us. It's obviously a new league. Hopefully, I've said that last year, to be honest with you. But it's one we're looking forward to. It's one the players look forward to. The pre-season seems to drag a little bit at the back end of it.
Yeah. And I guess it's difficult, isn't it? Because you got those sort of nerves, the good nerves, the excitement, all the rest of it, and you need that, but you don't want to have too much of it going into this watch and build it up into more than it is.
I call it about getting in the zone quickly, really, to be honest with you, getting into the real matches as quickly as possible, the tempo of them, and getting yourself set and ready. That's my message to the players, and getting that zone pretty quick. Nothing's won or lost, certainly in the early games of the season. It takes a little bit of time for things to settle down. And it's like anything really. I think over the last 2 years we've improved as the season goes on, and we'll continue to look for that improvement. It'd be great to see and say, oh, we've had a fantastic start, now we can kick on. But it's about improving. Performance is improving. Games of football, like I keep saying, are won on fine lines a lot of the time. It's about working hard on the training ground, constantly working hard on our weaknesses and our strengths, obviously. And making sure we do our own work on the opposition, as always, on their strengths and weaknesses. So not a lot's going to change in that sort of mindset.
And is that, as a coaching staff, is that something you're proud of? And you've had, I don't know, 3/4 of this squad together for a while now, and you've been able to see them grow individually as players. I mean, there's lots of teams where they buy the best players, that's the way it works. But it seems that you've really developed as a unit. Yeah,
well, this is no disrespect to people, but people don't really underestimate how much work goes on in the training ground to bring success over the last couple of years, and how much time and work. Obviously it's our jobs to do that, but it takes time, and any new players that come in and wholesale changes that come in takes even longer sometimes for a team to settle down. I mean, certainly looking in the conference year, it took us a good while to get my message across of what I wanted, and a hell of a lot of work and players getting used to players. I mean, you look at probably one of the greatest club sides in the world, Barcelona, how they run their football club of repetition of players coming through, playing with each other from the ages of 10, 11, 12, 13, and in a certain extent in first team football still, players get a good understanding playing with certain players. That you see it on the training ground, you see it in matches, but that doesn't happen overnight. That happens over a substantial amount of time.
And even for you, and you know what your players are capable of, and if you've got a bunch of new players, you think but until you test it,
No,
sure.
certainly. Obviously, we do our own work on our new signings, and we know what the strengths they can certainly bring to the team. But over the years, you've had certain players suit different football clubs. That can happen. What I would say, obviously, we've hit on most of our signings over the last 2 years. Certainly haven't got them all right. I wouldn't. I'll never get them all right, but if you can get a high percentage of 75-80% of your signings right, it brings success, and we've had that over the 2 years. We've got 3 players that come into the squad in Peter Hartley, Byron Moore, and Luke James. No doubt there'll be 3 or 4 maybe by the end of August as well when the deadline shuts. So it's going to be an interesting season for us.
Okay, so with Scunthorpe first up, I mean, travelling away, I guess it's one you can get out of the way with, isn't it, when the weather's nice?
Well, yeah, no, it's a tight ground. The crowd are pretty much on top of you. It's an intimidating place. It can be to play sometimes, so the players have got to get used to that pretty early. So it's nice to get, I suppose, like you'd say, one of the longer journeys out of the way early doors. We've got plenty of long journeys, but that's part and parcel of it now.
And it's that, I guess. Are you going away? Is it Friday you travel up?
Yeah, we travel. We train in the morning, then travel straight up.
Yeah, and actually ahead of the first match, having them all together in one place, that may not be a bad thing. Just try and get that last minute, whatever it is you're trying to get in their heads.
Do you know what? I don't think there is right and wrong answers. The right answers are winning football matches. If you're not winning football matches, change something. Work on something else. Change your preparation. For me, that's the way I've worked, and it's always one of those things. If you're winning games away from home, and our away record was fantastic last season, so I see no reason to change the preparation that we're doing last season. But all of a sudden we start losing more away games. I look at changing a different preparation. You move on to something else.